Hey guys, in this video we're going to extend the functionality of your Native Instruments MIDI controller. This is going to be compatible with all of their keyboards, so no need to worry there. But make sure you grab the file in the description of this video. It's going to make things go a lot smoother. I'm going to walk you through how to set this up with Live in your computer, but other than that, just grab your controller, get Live running, and let's get started. Just keep in mind that this is not a walkthrough on the basic functionality of the complete controller keyboard. If you do need some of those resources, Native Instruments has lots of documents on that. This is only going to focus on how to use this extended functionality when you use a user remote script. All right, so we are in Ableton Live and I got my controller hooked up. As you can see, it is responding to the interface control, so I can move around the interface, I can switch tracks, I can use the global transport controls, even undo and redo. Really handy. But what I'm mainly worried about or focused on today is these encoders. By default, when you're in track instance, you're going to have access to the different parameters for your mixer. But I would like to control devices inside of those tracks rather than just the mixer. If I go over to an instrument like this piano, where I have a complete control instance loaded with a grandeur, now I can change instrument parameters. Notice I'm not really hitting the keys a lot softer or harder now, but I have access to those parameters inside that complete control instrument. Really, really handy, but I would like to do the same thing with live instruments. So let's head over into our preferences and look at a couple things. First off, you'll notice that when you go over to your Link and MIDI tab, you'll find the complete control, A or S, depending on which controller you have, has already been selected, and your input will be the complete control DAW mode, which is what allows you to control the global transport, your track selection, and all that good stuff. Now, what I'm interested in today is going over to your inputs and outputs selection here in the bottom. Yours may look a bit different depending on what you have hooked up, but mine has the complete control A61 MIDI, and it also has the complete control A input. This is for the DAW mode, for the DAW controls. So make sure both of these have a track enabled on and remote on. This is really important. Sync can actually stay off because there's no sequence data that happens between the controller itself and live. Now, what else can we do? Well, what we need to do is take that script, that file that you've downloaded from this video, and we're going to load this into this menu. Now, right now, you can't just drag and drop it, so we're going to go over to our File Explorer or Finder, and I'm going to put the path for the directory where you need to drop this file. All you need to do is drag and drop this into that directory. Make sure you reboot Live. And I'm just going to reopen that same project. All right, so once you're back in Live, head back to your Preferences and the Link MIDI tab, and find a controller surface here that's empty. I'm going to choose number 6 here just to be safe, and I'm going to look for the Control A-Series macro. That's the script that I've created today. Then go to Input, Complete Control. Yours may be a different number here, but make sure you don't choose the DAW version and you choose the MIDI version. This is really important, so choose the MIDI version for both and should be ready to go. All right, so once again, if you're looking to control the complete control instruments, then we can hit the plugin button after selecting that track. And in this case, we have the same piano, and we can change the parameters for that instrument on that track. What if we want to do the same thing now with the live instruments? So go back to track instance mode. We'll just scooch over 2 tracks here. We'll go to control this bass. And all I have to do to control the macros of this instrument now is hold Shift and the plugin MIDI button. Now check this out. If I want to control the cutoff filter, I can change my resonance. And all without having to do any MIDI mapping. Now this is because of something called the blue hand in Live, And if you look really closely at the first device in that bass track, you can see it right next to the name. This is really important because this is what's allowing us to automatically map our encoders to these 8 macros. Super handy. Now, if you'd like to change the device that is being controlled, you have to simply click on it. I'm still trying to figure out a way if there is a shortcut to map the controller to do that automatically, but in the meantime, this is still saving a significant amount of time if I just want to, say, add more drive to that bass. I can simply do so while playing using the click of mouse. Boom, I'm good to go. I don't have to map any MIDI buttons. Now this is also useful for recording automation without having to hard map anything to your controller. And once I'm ready to try another track, I can just use the 4-way switcher here on the controller and just try a new instrument. Hold Shift, plugin. Now I have access to the filter. So again, this blue hand is really powerful, but just be mindful where you're clicking. Sometimes you may be thinking that just because you switch tracks, you'll automatically control that first device in the chain. But actually, even if you're digging inside an instrument rack or an audio effect rack, and you click on an instance of a different device that has many, many parameters like this instance of analog, you may accidentally knock something out of place and not realize what it's doing. And in this case, it could be really dangerous and detrimental to the sound if you're thinking that you're turning, say, the cutoff filter for your instrument rack, but you're actually turning the LFO speed of that instrument. So be mindful, always double check where your blue hand is located, and you'll be safe. And that's it for this video, guys. Thanks so much for watching. But if you like what I do, make sure to subscribe to this channel for more. And check out my website. I do have some free Ableton racks to give away. So there's instruments, some audio effects, and MIDI tools to help out with your production. So until next time, though, we'll see you in the loop.